Welcome back, my friend, and in this training we're going to be jumping into the exact content strategy that Andrew Tate has used in his messaging to create a cult-like following. And when you understand this and you understand these three keys, you'll see exactly how we can position you not only as an authority in the space, but also as a relatable person, as a guide. Somebody who can guide your prospect from their current place of pain to their desired result. Okay, so if you're ready, let's buckle up and get into it, because this is a powerful lesson that's going to help you break through the noise, establish yourself as an authority in the space, and create that deep connection with your audience. And in this video, we're going over the exact messaging strategy that Andrew Tate's been able to use to create a cult-like following. And when you do this as well, not only will you be able to position yourself as an authority in the marketplace, you're going to be able to create this deep connection and relatability with your audience. When the two of these things come together, you can begin to really influence, persuade, and create this cult-like following, attracting your ideal clients, magnetizing them in, while also pushing away people that are just never going to be buyers in the first place. So as we zoom out here, what's important to keep in mind, okay, we can see that these are the elements of a cult-like following. We have some bonus points here, but if we think about an Andrew Tate, yes, there is obviously lifestyle achievements. There's the flex, right? There's the lifestyle and the achievements that the prospect admires or demands. There's values and principles that the audience resonates with. Right? To be strong, to be independent, to be iron-minded, to look after oneself, one's family, traditional values, or whatever, okay? So these are the three elements right here that allowed Tate to do this, okay? But further, right, this isn't my idea, this isn't Tate's idea, this has been studied time and time again. The author Robert Greene talks about this and how to create a cult-like following in the 48 Laws of Power. But further, people like Russell Brunson have spoken about this same dynamic. But this isn't new, and it's not unique to either of those authors. In fact, if you look back throughout history and you think about different cults or different mass movements, if you think about a mass movement like the civil rights movement in America, you had a charismatic leader in Martin Luther King. You had a vision for the future, I have a dream, and you had a vehicle to get there in civil rights reform. If you think about the civil rights movement in India, right? You have a charismatic leader in Mahatma Gandhi. You have a vision for the future, an India free of British rule, right? And then you have a vehicle to get there in nonviolent resistance, okay? Then, again, if you think of many different cults, legitimate cult movements, if you think of Scientology, there's a vision for the future. There's a charismatic leader, David McSavage, right? And then there's a unique mechanism, okay? If you think about Christianity, right, that's some heavy stuff. If you go to positive stuff as well, positive mass movements, we looked at the civil rights movement. You can think about Christianity, right? There is the ultimate charismatic leader that we all, on some level, aspire to be like, okay? Even, right, our character flaws in the hero's journey, even Christ, as he was walking in the desert, was tempted by the devil, right? So this is a really important part, by the way, that a lot of people don't quite hit. Yes, authority is super important, and we need to position you. You need to position yourself as an authority in the market to even get people's attention, okay? But once we position you as an authority, we need to be relatable. And if we think about a Tate, even if you think about an Andrew Tate, yes, there's lifestyle achievements. There's Bugattis, Lamborghinis, there's the cars, right? There's the women, there's the money. There's the multiple-time kickboxing world champion. All this sort of stuff that is probably outside most people's reality. But then he does sprinkle in bits of this hero's journey. You know, he does sprinkle in how he grew up on a council estate. Okay, character flaw. Okay, relatable. Think authority plus relatable. Kickboxing world champion also talks about the broke days where him and his brother used to eat leftover KFC. That was other people's KFC bucket, right? So relatable, okay? Again, think about flexing that authority, but then showing the relatability. Think about the wins, but then think about your down moments and communicating this all together is what creates that connection. And this is, the hero's journey. If you think about a Rocky film, right? The reason we resonate with Rocky and the reason why a character in a film like that inspires us, it's not because, the film doesn't start with Rocky being a Golden Gloves boxer, right? Just battering everyone, because that would be unrelatable. We wouldn't be able to connect, right? Instead, it starts with Rocky going over on his girlfriend's couch. He's a bum, right? And his coach keeps telling that. Everyone thinks he's a down and out and he's wasted his life, right? That's relatable. We've all had down moments like that. And as a result, when we see him traverse this journey here, we root for him, right? In many ways, what we're trying to do with positioning is, yes, position you as an authority, but it's to position yourself as the hero. The audience sees you as their best self-actualized. Just, you are almost like them, just a few chapters ahead. That if right now they feel like they're just stuck in a prison cell of their scenario or of limiting beliefs or what have you, if you can show them that, yes, you have all these awesome achievements now, but once upon a time you were in that exact same position, then not only are you an authority, but you're an authority that they should actually listen to because you've been in the same situation that they're in. Okay, so this is a really, really important element. And again, it's about that balance between authority and relatability. Okay, and then further, we have a vision for the future. So if we think about 1930s, 1940s Germany, right? Unfortunately, you do have a charismatic leader in Hitler, right? You have a vision for the future, a strong Germany, a purified Aryan race or whatever, right? Which the people, unfortunately, again, got behind. And there was a vehicle to get there. Okay, again, right, civil rights movement in America, Martin Luther King had a vision, right? He had a dream, right? He was a charismatic leader, a very eloquent, a very well-spoken man, very educated, but he had experienced those, so authority, but he's experienced those same down moments that his viewers, his audience have. In fact, he was put in prison. The fact that he was put in prison, these down moments creates that connection with the audience. So, my friend, some people are too modest and they really struggle to flex their authority, right? Others, right, they're the other side, right? They have the authority. They've been in their space for quite a long time, but they struggle to be seen as relatable. And if we see somebody that is an authority, but they're not relatable, the brain will instantly just go to, well, this guy was born rich. Or like a lot of clients of mine are in that dating space. If we show authority with in-field or with results, being with girls, all this sort of stuff, the viewer can easily think, well, it's easy for this guy. He's good looking, or he's probably always been like that. He's been a natural. He doesn't know what it's like to be like me. And that's why it's so important to communicate that hero's journey and show them that, yes, although you have these lifestyle achievements and you are that authority now, that once upon a time it wasn't like that. And in fact, if they feel like they're about to die when they approach a woman, they just feel overwhelmed by social anxiety. If you tell stories that just paint that picture and show the prospect that you were once in that same place, that's what's going to build that connection. That's what's going to show the prospect that ultimately it's like you're the Sherpa, the guide that's going to be able to guide them up the mountain. Okay, so if you really hammer on these 3 points, if you get crystal clear on these elements and you communicate this to your audience, right, the charismatic leader, the vision for the future, and you educate them on your unique mechanism, your vehicle to actually get them to the result. Okay, you'll see here, this is exactly what Andrew Tate did. Yes, charismatic leader, like we talked about. Vision for the future of have-yots and have-nots. The matrix is closing in, right? And then the unique mechanism is his programs, right? It's Hustlers University and the War Room. Hustlers University, 18 modern methods of wealth creation or whatever, so you can make money online, break free of the matrix. So next time there's a lockdown, you have that autonomy. and then the war reel so you can network with other like-minded individuals, etc. Okay, so that is the mechanism, the charismatic leader, and the vehicle. So anytime you're communicating your message to your audience, you need to be incorporating on the meta level. You need to be communicating these things and further bonus points, right? Creating an us versus them dynamic. And Tate again did this really well with the brokies and the hustlers, or defining the enemy is the matrix, right? And leveraging some of the most powerful cognitive biases, which are social proof and authority. Okay. Again, however, once we position you as an authority, it's extremely important to get this hero's journey in there. Show the prospect that not only do you know what you're talking about, but that your mechanism and your processes will work for them, because you were once in the same position that they are in. So you have that balance between authority and relatability. And so, my friend, if you leverage these 3 points effectively, you will create a magnetic message that pulls in attention, that pulls in your audience. And this is what's going to create that deep, deep connection and get people ready to buy before they're ever on a call. So, my friend, if you think of any of the info marketers, any of the big influencers that have been around for 10 plus years, be it in the health, wealth, or relationship space. So if you think of like a Vince Del Monte or an Elliot Hulse, so in the health space, or if you think about people in the wealth space, so people like Jason Capital, people like Sam Owens, people like Alex Becker, or if you think of people in the relationship space like Owen Cook, or like different dating coaches, you will see that the guys that have stood the test of time, right, the guys that have created that cult-like following, for example, again, Andrew Tate or SD, Tyler Durden or Owen Cook, they did an excellent job of speaking to these things, positioning themselves as an authority, but creating that relatability with the audience. This is what creates that connection. Okay, so again, understand that if you want to really attract and create that deep, deep connection with your audience, this is exactly how you're going to do it. Okay, now, this is part of the seductive marketing method. Okay, what we really want to do is create attractive content that creates like a critical mass that magnetizes your ideal client, or it pulls people in. Okay, but the reality of the matter on all of the social platforms is that it takes consistent posting for a long, long time. I have a lot of clients that have 50K plus followers, and most of them will have been posting for 1, 2, or 3 years straight, almost daily. If we're talking about TikTok, Instagram, etc. Okay, so what is really powerful, just like in a dating dynamic, in dating, right? It's really powerful if we optimize ourselves to be a high value man. If we work on our projection, our tonality, our presentation, our limiting beliefs, our charisma, if we have a vision for the future that we're pursuing, we're going to the gym, we have hobbies, we become an interesting guy or an attractive guy, that's excellent. It's one of the best things that you can do in terms of dating, right? But the reality of the matter is you could be this highly attractive man. If you're not actually getting out there and taking action and approaching women, you're just going to be left by yourself, right? It's your job as a man to actually get out there and approach. And, to a degree, it's the exact same in business, right? Yes, we want to have this message extremely dialed in, but it's still your responsibility to get out there at the very least, right? Do outreach to your own audience, right? Yes, have these powerful CTAs in place that pull people in, but get out there, start conversations with your own audience, send the DMs, right? Both warm outreach to your own audience, but also cold. And especially with cold, the first thing somebody is going to do when they get a cold DM from you, just like in dating, they're going to check you out and see if you're attractive, see if you are an authority, right? See if there is social proof. They're going to see if they relate to your hero's journey. So it's all about this. Now, When you get the balance of these two pieces in play, it's extremely powerful. Okay, so if you're creating content, if you're trying to break through the noise on social media, understand that this is what's going to allow you to create the deep connection. But I urge you, my friend, leverage both of these things. Yes, get the attraction in place, but when you can start taking this powerful action, you create something like this, a target demo map with your different niches, with the different hashtags that are relevant to those niches. And then you create something like this with lists of ideal clients or source accounts, and you start doing outreach to those people. Here's an example of an outreach script that we use with clients, okay? When you have both of these implemented, when you have both of these things in place, incredible things can happen. And it's not about the algorithm putting you on, it puts you in control. Okay, my friends? So takeaway lessons here. These are the three elements of a cult-like following. Okay, this is exactly what Andrew Tate used to blow up. And if you're doing any sort of personal branding, this is what you're going to need to put out there to really create that connection with your audience. Okay, relationship and connection, it's almost like a cross. If we can visualize a cross, we have two axes. One is depth and one is width, right? The frequency of your content is width, but what really classifies a good relationship is the depth of relationship, the depth of connection that we have with a person. And this is how you create that depth of connection. Okay, now further, if you want to work on both of these pieces and get both of these things together, so not only can you create this depth of connection with your messaging, but further, you can use these outreach processes to start getting calls booked in your calendar. Drop me a DM on Instagram and I'll actually send you this whole document over, and you can start to piece together this outreach campaign for yourself. Peace, my friends. See you in the next one.